Okay. So I'm live on YouTube and Facebook. There we go. Oh, busy morning. Okay, I'm just waiting for people to turn up. It's a weird time for me to be on, but it's the only time I've got today that I know of. Hello. You were here yesterday, weren't you? Nunima. Probably said it wrong. Okay, I'm just waiting for everyone to turn up. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Perfect time for me. I'm breastfeeding my son. Oh, cute. We didn't have internet when my kids were little, so I would have loved that. What a good excuse to sit and watch something, right? Oh, your name is Shushu from Iraq. Oh, welcome. Shushu. I don't know how else I would say that. Did I say that right? Okay. From Wales. Hello, Michelle. Okay, so I'm on Facebook and YouTube, and whenever I'm doing a live, I'm on YouTube the whole time. That's where all my lives are saved. And I jump from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. I hope my voice holds up. I can tell I've been talking a lot all week, so I did. Oh, Shushu. Okay, great. Sorry, that's the name of someone on YouTube. I was asking if I spelled it right. Happy Mother's Day to you, too. I had a lovely day with my son and granddaughter yesterday. She's 16 months old. She's just hitting the toddler stage. She knows what she wants, and she's trying to get it now. I haven't seen a tantrum yet, but they get a mind of their own, right? They think, well, no, I don't want to walk that way. I want to walk that way. She's just heading into that, so it's lots of fun. Yeah. Okay. Like before, you just say, okay, we're going this way, and she'd just go. Now it's like, kind of like that direction. Denmark, hello. I don't want to pronounce your name because I'll probably get it wrong. Okay, so I'm going to introduce myself. My name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach, a mom. I'm also a grandmother. My hat proves that. If you go on my website, which is BratBusters.com, you can get my free behavior board, my courses. I'm running a Mother's Day sale right now. Or you can look into coaching. I do have a big wait list, but I should get to it eventually, or I will somehow. And you can look into our podcast. My daughter and I work together, and we do the podcast together. We do 2 a week, and we just started doing that. Well, I think we've done 60 of them now. So we just started doing it not that long ago, like October, I think it was, November, I'm not sure. Anyway, we're having lots of fun doing it. And what's interesting is it's on YouTube. You can look at YouTube if you want to watch the podcast. My daughter hates being in front of this camera. She likes being behind the scenes. And I was shocked when she said, yeah, I think I have to be on there with you because you need someone asking you the questions. And she manages all that. So anyway, I'm shocked she's doing it, but we're having a great time. Okay, Florida. Crystal. Hi, Crystal. I've never seen Crystal spelled that way before. See all sorts of names and different spellings. Okay, so I'm just here answering your questions, and happy Mother's Day to all your mothers. Okay. We'll see how long I last. I'm really quite tired today. I don't know why, but I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So we'll see. Now, this is from Shushu on YouTube. You talked last time this was yesterday, about leadership parenting, helping the child overcome things like bullying, peer pressure, bad friend influence too, I assume. Do you have a video podcast that goes more in depth on this topic? Not really, because think about it this way. When you have a leader, that's someone that you look up to and you turn to. That's someone that you trust and you talk to. They're the ones you're going to turn to, no one else. You're not going to be influenced by anyone else if you already have that solid person that you turn to. That was my mother. I was that for my kids. It's that person that you turn to for everything. So no matter what would happen at school or whatever, they'd always come to me and discuss it, and anything was okay. Like, well, we talked about everything. So yeah, that's why. It's just you're powered just because they trust you and they know they can tell you anything without judgment or fear. And, okay. Thanks, Vanessa. I was at Whole Foods. I go to Whole Foods every day because I live nearby. Anyway, and I was in Whole Foods and I thought, what the heck? There's a giant lineup for the flowers. You know, it's funny. Lots of other places sell flowers too that are empty. No one's buying them there. I'm always surprised that Whole Foods is like the place to go. They do wrap them up nice, though, I must admit. Okay. I mean, this was a long lineup, probably 30 people in this lineup. Oh. And my granddaughter yesterday went out for lunch. My son and I, his daughter, and she's sitting up in a high chair, and we were trying to show her how to color. She's only 16 months old. They can take the crayon and sort of go like that, but I said the odds of her being able to pick up that crayon and color with it is slim to none. She didn't do it, but you could just see like she was just trying so hard to grasp it. She's just not quite there yet. It's just so fun to watch them. I'm fascinated watching it. It's like watching my kids all over again. It's watching them discover. They're in the discovery phase when they're toddlers. They're brand new, fresh human beings. Everything's a new experience to them. And yeah, it's fascinating. Anyway, it's just fun to watch. I'm going to read out my top 5 tips for parenting toddlers. A toddler to me is about 16 to 35 months. Number 1, child-proof your home so you never have to say no. Number 2, set up a toy rotation system so they're never bored. Number 3, you connect with a toddler in their world, not your world. You don't take them to the nail salon with you. You go to the park and roll down the hill with them. And number 4 is kind of similar. You discipline a toddler in their world. In other words, whenever you interact with them, it's in their world. So they're all about actions. They're not about words. All these mini therapy sessions discussing all their big feelings and big emotions, it's absolute crap. God, I'd like to find the person who invented all that. It's just ridiculous. But it's feeding the mom's ego. It's feeding the mom. Look, I'm talking up to them, and it's patronizing. It's not their language. It's ridiculous. Okay. Number 5, stop trying to figure them out. They're brand new, fresh human beings. They're just forming. They've got one marble and some tumbleweed floating around up there. Okay. Imagine if you've only been in the world for 2 years, and the first year you were a potato laying on a mattress. They have no context, and their language is not words yet. It's actions. Dollar store was like that yesterday in my town. Yeah, Mother's Day. It's actually quite fun. I wish I could. I never post pictures of my granddaughter ever, but I would love to show this one. It's just my son took it. I didn't know he was taking pictures of us. We were out walking, and it's just my granddaughter and I walking hand in hand. It's one of those pictures that you just think it's just a moment, right? And it's just fascinating. I never thought of myself as a grandmother. I always saw myself as a mother. It's fascinating though, watching your kids parent. I daycare her one day a week. I absolutely treasure that. But what I find even more rewarding is watching my son parent. It's just fun because he's a product of me, and then she'll be a product of him. It's just fascinating. Okay, Florida. Your name's Amy. That's my daughter's name. I have 2 toddlers, almost 4-year-old boy and two girl. Help. Yeah. 4, I don't consider a toddler. A child is 3 and above to me. Anyway, to me, I call that kind of the preschool years, 3 and 4. To me, a baby is 0 to 15 months. A toddler is 16 to 35 months. A preschooler is 3 and 4. A child is 5 to 8. A tween is 9 to 12. And then 13 up as a teenager. It's just the way I do it. So you said help. Yeah, get the 4-year-old on the behavior board. It just gets you organized, okay? And also you're on it too. That's what makes it all work. You have to be accountable too. So if you yell, you put down no yelling as your rule and you follow through. Check out my website, BratBusters.com. That's where you'll see the behavior board. And I do have a sale going right now for Mother's Day for the boot camp courses only. Coaching has been closed down for about 6 weeks because I'm booked solid. But I'm hoping to open it up soon. My daughter and I are going to be going through that this week. That's our project for this week. And if you do have the courses already, the boot camp courses already, make sure you refresh the page because you're not going to see the old courses. But if you refresh, it'll come to all. We've updated everything. So it's all brand new. Well, it's all the same information basically, but sort of I've added some more stuff in there. But all the videos are new. Everything's new. All the text has all been redone. So if you're having a hard time viewing your existing boot camp course, if you bought it like last week or previous, just refresh the page. Okay. Have you noticed when kids eat a lot of sugar or carbs, they don't listen? No, I don't discuss nutrition, by the way. I'm not a doctor, so I don't discuss that. Okay. And then you said, this is again from Shushu. How do I build that type of relationship with them? Have them talk to me about anything. Just keep watching me. It's not a quick answer. It takes a while. You have to keep learning all this stuff. It's like anything. You have to keep learning. I've got tons of information on how you do this. But check out the pool story. That's a really good indication of my theory on how you should treat children. It just Google BratBusters pool story. I just can't tell that story again. I've told it thousands of times. I told it yesterday. I thought I was going to self-destruct. It's just because I've told it so many times. It's agony at this point. And if you just Google BratBusters pool story, it'll come up. It just sort of, it's the big picture on how you want to treat children. I deal with bad behavior, but I don't focus on it. I don't discuss it either. I deal with bad behavior, then I focus on the good kid. My goal is always to make them like themselves when they're with me, is to increase their self-esteem, make sure that they have confidence. That is always my goal. Now, if you provide that for children, they're going to come to you and tell you everything. Okay. All righty. So I'm just scrolling ahead to make sure you're still here when I answer. My husband watches you a lot, shows me your videos. And then you said, not yet. I don't know what not yet means. Because I can't remember what question you asked. It's just, I just talk about parenting all the time, that once I've talked about something, it's hard for me to remember what I just talked about. Okay. And remember that parenting is discipline's part of it, but it's the small part. The big part is connecting and bonding and playing with your kids. Their love language is fun and play and laughter. It's mine too, by the way. I like laughing. I like having fun. I don't like anything downer or anything. I like everything fun. So do kids. I think, which says a lot. I think we're hardwired for fun. And I think as adults, we forget how to giggle and be goofy and have fun. I never did, but a lot of adults do. A lot of adults say they can't remember the last time they giggled. Oh, maybe they never did giggle. I'm a giggler. If it's not in your DNA, then that's a different thing. Okay, you have to put down ages. Like, I don't know. Yeah, you have to put down an age. I can't answer without an age. Okay. I'm going to read out, I actually don't like this, something I wrote, my top 3 leadership qualities. I don't like this, but they are the top 3 leadership qualities, but I just don't like talking about it. I just find it boring. Top 3 leadership qualities: you stay calm during the storms. So when you're disciplining, it's all business. You're completely calm, 0 emotions. You're calm, no anger, nothing. Number 2, you be crazy during the rainbows. So when there's no discipline going on, you're playing with your kids, be crazy, be goofy, laugh, giggle, roll on the floor with them, just be crazy and have fun. So calm during the storms, crazy during the rainbows. Then the third one is become a great listener. This is more for when they're 5 and above. So you listen to understand and show empathy. You don't listen to gather information to lecture with, or they will shut you out, especially when they're teenagers, okay? So work on your listening skills. Just listen to understand. And if they do have a problem, like my mom never told me what to do. I have no memory of that. And I don't think my kids said I did that with them either. So I always, if they came to me with a problem, I would say, what are you going to do about that? What do you think? And then I would always try to encourage them to become problem solvers. You know what's interesting? Both my kids are phenomenal problem solvers. They just know, I don't know, they're just good at it. So, but yeah, I think that's part of it as I train them. I never wanted to fix things for my kids. I wanted to empower them so they could fix them themselves. But I was right there. And I was listening and I was offering the odd suggestion. Well, have you tried this? Or what do you think of that? Or when I was your age, I remember I did that. My mom did that. She was sort of, I'd say to her, what should I do, Mommy? She'd go, you're a smart girl. You can figure it out. And then we'd talk about it. And I always thought I was solving all my own problems. She was probably feeding me information. You always want to empower your children. You do not want obedient little soldiers who listen to everything you say. That is narcissistic as a parent. It's ridiculous. You don't want that. You want free thinking, independent, strong children who are polite and respectful because you respect them. You give respect to get it. Like I always wanted my kids to just do what they needed to do. I didn't want to have to tell them. They already knew. I have no memory of ever telling my kids to go to bed, get ready for school, do homework, come to the table for dinner. It was just dinner's ready and they came. Like they knew what you needed to do and they just did it. Or if they didn't want to do it in that moment, they might say, I'm just right in the middle of a game. Can I just spend another 10 minutes finishing it? I'd say, yeah, sure. But I already had respect, you see. So you can have more exceptions once you're a leader. When you're working towards it, exceptions shouldn't happen. But once you're a leader, you can just relax and yeah. Mom, I'm just right in the middle of something. Can I stay up later tonight? Yeah, sure, whatever. They were so responsible. You see, that's what I wanted. I didn't want to be micromanaging my kids. How boring. Then you just sort of feel like a bully all the time. I just want to be friends with my kids. But if they did make a poor choice, my son used to say, if we do make a mistake, you see mom coming down the hall pretty quick. Yeah. Okay. This is for Julia, doing boot camp, 3 to 12 years old. 4-year-old daughter hits, kicks, etc. We are in week 4. It got better, but it's still up and down. Yeah, that's normal. Okay, 3 days, okay, 2 days up, down. Yep, completely normal. Am I too impatient? Do I expect too much? Yeah, most parents do. It's like losing weight. I haven't lost 10 pounds today. It's kind of like that. The thing is that the acceleration is sort of like this with kids in getting better. Sort of up and down and up and down. And then they'll sometimes near the end, when they're just before they give up, they kind of really test you or really up and down, really. And then all of a sudden it just levels off. That's where you're headed, but there is a lot of up and down, a lot of it. That's part of it. But you want to see some ups, not just all downs. And then you start to see more ups and less downs, right? It might be 4 good days and then 1 bad day, and then eventually none. They will test you from time to time because they remember the old you, and they're probably still seeing snippets of it. If you look angry, frustrated, or disappointed, you're not a leader. And if you show any of those 3 signs, they're going to act out. You see, if you go, oh, you shouldn't have done that, they're going to act out because that's bullying, berating, and shaming. Bully and leaders don't do that. So yeah, never show anger, disappointment, or frustration. You're going to do it anyway. I get it. But when you get good at this and you know how, and it cements in you that you just don't show that anymore. The better you get, the better they get. It's part of it. It's part of it. You're only in week 4, did you say? Yeah. And the real changes happen within 3 to 6 months. After you do all the work. The 5-week course is just to teach you what to do, but you got to keep doing it for 3 to 6 months before you really see the difference. But some people see it. The reason I don't put this in there, some people see it really quickly. Some people just turn the corner really fast. I get I'd say maybe 2 clients a month, maybe, that do that. They just, by about session 3 or 4, they've just got it. And it's all them. It's all their tone of voice, facial expressions, body language. It's when the parents calm down and start leading calmly and then having fun during the fun times, but they're disciplining in a very calm, business-like manner. That's when everything changes. So it's a reflection of you too. Haven't seen the boot camp. The boot camp you can buy it. It's on sale right now. It's my course. I have 2 of them. One for toddlers, one for 3 to 12-year-olds. And I've got a Mother's Day sale running right now. It's on BratBusters.com. But the behavior board's completely free. The behavior board is the training wheels. And in the boot camp course for 3 to 12, because the behavior board doesn't start until they're 3. They have to be able to reason. They have to be able to stop and think before they act. And that starts at around 3. Not before, though. But yeah, maybe a month before, maybe, but it's just pretty much right at 3. Anyway, so yeah, we do the behavior board in the 3 to 12-year-old boot camp course, but then we go on to other things because the behavior board is just a teaching tool. I'm just teaching you how to do this. Like I would never use a behavior board. Like I don't want those kids looking at that board. I want them looking right at me. So because I'm a leader, but it just is a training tool for you in how to get going, and it's a visual aid too. And that's free. The behavior board's free. So I'm just scrolling ahead to make sure. Oops, I gotta go. I gotta go over to, yeah, I'm running late. I've got to go over to Instagram now if you want to join me over there, or on YouTube. I'm on YouTube the whole time whenever I'm doing a live. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. Check out my website, BratBusters.com. Get my free behavior board, my boot camp courses. There's a Mother's Day sale, 10% off right now. You can look into coaching. I will get to that wait list eventually. I don't know when, but anyway, we're working on it. And just because I'm so booked solid right now. And you can also look into the podcast. And the podcast is Tuesdays and Thursdays. We release them. My daughter and I do it together. We're having lots of fun. Anyway, thanks so much. I'm hopping over to Instagram now, and I'm on YouTube the whole time. Bye now. Yeah, there's 7 buttons to go from Facebook to Instagram, but there's 10 to go from Instagram to TikTok. That's why it always seems harder. It's these details. Oh, don't ask me anything about diet. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a doctor. I have my own personal opinions, but I don't share that here. I share experience-based, proof-based stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm not a specialist with food or anything. Okay. It says, it's on YouTube. I have a 5-year-old son who copies bad language from the older students in his bus. Can I teach him not to copy them? Just get the behavior board. It's completely free on my website, and put down no bad words as his rule. When he uses a bad word, then there's a consequence. Consequences is what teach them right and wrong. It's not words. It's not talking to them. It's not the lectures. They're useless. It's the consequences. Does the tax department just talk to you about why you should pay taxes, or do they throw you in jail if you don't? You see what I mean? The consequences keep us all in check. We live our life according to consequences. We pay our rent so we're not kicked out. We pay for our groceries so we don't get handcuffs put on us. You get the idea? Children learn through consequences just like we do. I wish my wife would take your advice. Love your work. Yeah, I get this a lot where one parent is following me and the other one just doesn't want to be on board. That's pretty common. Okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. I'm a mother. I'm also a grandmother, according to my hat. And if you look at my website, BratBusters.com, you can see my free behavior board, my boot camp courses. There's a 10% off Mother's Day sale going on right now. Or you can look into coaching. I'm really sorry, but it's shut down for about 6 weeks now. I'm booked solid, but we're hoping to open it up again soon. So you might get in within the next 2 or 3 months. So sorry about that. Anyway, and then the podcast, my daughter and I do it together. We do 2 a week, and we're just having a blast doing it. The last one was what are lessons learned from our mothers. So I talked about my mother, who was my idol, my best friend, and my daughter talked about me. We're best friends. I wouldn't call myself her idol. I wouldn't need to be. She's more my idol. I'm the goofy one in the family. Anyway, so you can check that out. That was last Thursday's episode. And there's a really bad story at the end that makes me look like a horrible mother. It's something that just happened about a week ago. She's loving it. Made me look really bad. But anyway, we had a lot of laughs over that. So if you want to check that out. Okay. And the podcast is on all the platforms. Plus, if you want to watch the podcast, we do film ourselves doing it. And that's on YouTube. They're all saved on there. Okay, so let's get going with your questions, and I'll answer as many as I can. Happy Mother's Day, by the way. I spent yesterday with my son and my granddaughter, his little gorgeous little 16-month-old girl. Gee, she's a treasure. And then today I'm spending all day with my daughter. So very, very good Mother's Day for me. Okay. My 3-year-old is a screamer. The only thing that has worked is to put him in his room. I know you say shame is around that, but what other suggestion do you recommend? Well, I'm not going to judge what you're doing now, but what I would do is now, is he just screaming? Like, is he screaming because he's crying and having a tantrum, or just screaming? Like, you know what I mean? When he gets mad, he just goes, and just screams. It's in the attitude department, sort of, but you might want to put down on the board, don't just yell. Something like that. You know, when you just yell, say no more of that, but you got to be careful with that. Is he doing it because you're doing something that's upsetting him? But if he's just doing it just to be a bit of a pain in the butt, you know what I mean? You know the difference. Is he crying? We don't address that. But if he just screams just to get your reaction and to make you mad, I might put that on the board. Give it a go. It's in the attitude department, but if it's just a scream in anger and that, I might put it on the board. Give it a go. Try it for a week. See if it makes any difference. And there's a consequence. So use the behavior board and put it on there. Any advice for good husband material? Well, I'm not married, so you're barking up the wrong tree. Can't say I'm good at picking men. I got to admit that. Okay. Not that there's not lots of wonderful men out there. I always say men are easy to get, but finding a man you want to get is the challenge. And it's just a compatibility thing. There's lots of wonderful men that I know that have been fantastic, but yeah. So I'm just putting that out there. I wanted to ask how to become a parenting coach. Well, if you want to do, I can only talk about what I did. I volunteered with kids from the time I was 11. So about 53 years I've been doing this now. So you put in 53 years and you're qualified. What else can I say? I'm all experience-based. I know lots of people have hired me and they also want to become a parenting coach. And I can tell because their kids really, they don't talk about their kids as much as they talk about how you teach this. And yeah, so, but yeah, I'm all experience-based. So there's no way I would have gone to any education other than kids for this. But there's lots of places out there evidently that teach this, but I think it has to be learned out in the field there. I don't know how you can learn how to get respect with kids and give it by not working with them. I don't know. Anyway, but there are 3 criteria. I always say I would never take parenting advice from someone without these 3 criteria. One is they have to have finished the job. Have you had teenagers? Have you lived with teenagers? Have you raised them into adulthood? You have to have finished the job to know how you build up to that. How do you get there? So yeah, that's one. The other one is you have to have worked with hundreds of other kids. Because if you haven't worked with hundreds of other kids, you haven't come across hardly anything. I didn't learn much with my own 2 kids. They didn't have any real challenges, but all the kids I worked with did. So those are the ones, and all the teenagers, those are the ones who taught me the most. And they're the ones who told me, you got to teach this stuff, Lisa. So it came from them. The third one is they have to have enjoyed parenting and found it easy. Why would you take advice from someone who struggled with it? It doesn't make any sense at all. They may be relatable, but I don't think this is something you'd want to relate to. I don't want to hire a surgeon because I can relate because I can't cut people up very well either. See what I mean? I would never take advice from someone who didn't love parenting and find it easy and found it easy. So those are the 3 criteria. I'm sure I'm not the only one out there like that. So that I just think those are the criteria. But probably running away crying now saying, God, she just put me down. I didn't mean to do it that way, but I'm just telling you from my own personal experience. There's probably lots of other parenting coaches out there who have different experience, and they're probably doing well also. But yeah, that's just my take on it. I'm very, I'm organic the way I did all this. No one told me what to do with business or parenting coaching or anything. Okay, this is interesting. My 11-year-old son tells me he has trauma from me yelling when he was younger. He says this to me when he struggles emotionally and he name calls. How can I move forward from this? You know what? My son was 12 years old and he accidentally dropped the garbage all over the floor. I didn't really yell at him, but I yelled, and I'd never yelled before, ever. And I yelled and I went, oh my God, I yelled. And he was 12. He turned pure white. And he'd never been yelled at before. Years after that, and by the way, I bought him a PlayStation game to make it up to him. I felt so bad. Poor kid. Anyway, but he'd never been yelled at before. And years later, he said that was the most traumatic experience of his life. For years, he said that. I said, I bought you a game. Get over it, princess. Come on. He'd be like 20 and say that. The most traumatic experience of his life is when I yelled when he dropped the garbage on the floor. And I wasn't yelling at him necessarily. It was just, I just let it fly because I'm a clean freak. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. I don't know what to say to you. He survived, but he brought it up for years just to torture me. And then every time he'd go to do the garbage after that, he'd go, whoa, 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 pretending he was going to drop it so he'd get another PlayStation game. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. Just follow through with, you can't do anything about the past. Just follow through with today and tomorrow. I would also tell him, you know what I would do? If you had a kid who's saying that emotionally damaged him, I would say, you know what? I shouldn't have yelled. That was mean. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And then take him somewhere special. Take him to one of those theme parks or something to make it up to him. Make amends. Okay? I bought my son a game. It was $80. It was in Australia. It was $80 for that thing. Because we lived in Australia. How to teach kids to be independent. I don't know. It's different at all ages, but I don't know. I mean, it's so different with each age. But I did push my kids into a lot of things, and I never tried to solve their problems. I always wanted them to solve their own problems. So if they were having trouble with something, I'd say, well, what do you think you should do? And then I might say, well, when I was your age, I remember. So I'd sort of feed them some ideas, but I never wanted to go in and save the day for them. I wanted them to be independent, strong thinking, confident people who could solve their own problems. Okay. Okay, actually, I have to get going. I'm just running late with this live this morning. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to be hopping over to TikTok now. I'm on YouTube the whole time. So check out my website, BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board. My boot camp courses are 10% off right now for Mother's Day. It's running for another day, I think. It's all on the website. Anyway, and you can look into coaching. There is a big wait list, but I'll get to that eventually. And you can also look into our podcast. My daughter and I do that together, and it's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms, and it's also posted on YouTube, so you can see us talking if you're interested in that. Anyway, thanks so much. I'm hopping over to TikTok. Happy Mother's Day. Happy parenting. Bye now. Yeah, it's 10 buttons to go to TikTok. Okay. My 13-year-old refuses to do any chores at home. She creates a mess and never cleans up. She always says she will do it later, but doesn't, and it stays up there. How do you get her to do it? Put it on the board. And don't call it a behavior board with a teenager. Call it the rules or just something, family rules or whatever. And you say, look, from now on, I want you to clean up after yourself within 10 minutes of getting up or whatever it is. Just put it down, have a very specific rule. Make it very specific, though. It might not be everything. It might be just clean up your food stuff within 10 minutes of finishing or something. So it could just be all of her dishes and stuff like that. And then say there's going to be a consequence if she doesn't do it. And then say to her, because she's a teenager, you always build reciprocity with teenagers, especially. You want them to have some autonomy. So you say to her, okay, that's what I want from you. What do you want from me? You want to ask that of a teenager. What do you want from me? What do you want me to stop doing or start doing? Teenagers usually say, get off my back. I would say, woo, that's too big of an ask. So anyway, just start there. I'm going to read out my top 5 tips for parenting teenagers. But first, I'm going to introduce myself here on TikTok. Just let me find that teenage thing. I can never see I always highlight it so I can't miss it. And then, of course, I miss it every time. Okay, welcome to TikTok. My name is Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. I'm a mom. I'm also a grandmother. And you can check out my website, BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board. You can get my boot camp courses. They're on sale right now, 10% off for Mother's Day special. What else? Oh, yeah. Coaching. I apologize. I'm booked solid. It's been closed down for 6 weeks, but I'm hoping to open it up again in the next month or two. So we're trying to figure all that out now. Also, you can look into the podcast, and my daughter and I do that together. We do 2 a week. It's on all the platforms, and it is called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. There's a really funny story that makes me look horrible in the last one. It's the Mother's Day, what lessons learned from our mothers. And my daughter told this story at the end. It just happened about a week ago. It was humiliating. Yes, I did something. I'm not proud of it. But, if you know me by now, you know I'm a doofus. So it's really embarrassing. She's not going to let me. That's going to come up year after year after year. Good morning, Lisa. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you, too. I had a wonderful day yesterday with my son and my granddaughter. And today I'm spending the day with my daughter because we've all got different schedules. They've got different parents to go visit and all that. But it's great because I got Mother's Day stretched out over the whole weekend. My son took one of those moments. He took a photo of my granddaughter and I just walking. We're just walking along looking really casual. It's just one of those really, I didn't know he was taking pictures. I just love that picture. It's not a close-up of our faces or anything. It's just from a distance, the two of us walking hand in hand. She's only 16 months, so. Okay, I have a young child and have a hard time controlling my own anger when disciplining. Any advice? Well, that is your biggest challenge. It would be like asking me, look, you give some great dieting advice, but how do I not eat the chocolate cake in the fridge? That is your challenge. That is the hard part. Okay. The thing is, once you start seeing results, you'll start to calm down and it gets easier and easier and easier. But right now, yeah, it's tricky. Yeah. Happy Grandmother's Day. Yeah, it was great. I mean, I was a grandmother last year too, but she was just kind of a blob laying on a mattress. I adored her, but I wasn't playing with her or anything, just cuddling them. Okay. Angela, I love your podcast. Thanks so much for that. We love doing it. Because my daughter and I, we're not just, we're mother and daughter. We're also best friends. But now she left her corporate job last August and she works with me full time now. So now we're in business together. So yeah, it's we're very connected, obviously, and we get along great. The only time we don't get along is when it's technology and I'm getting impatient and she's trying to teach me. We cannot be sitting behind a computer together. We've discovered that. So, I'm a real pain in the butt because she's like, I'm getting to it. Yeah, but at fast, oh God, it's horrible. And her husband says, you guys get along so great, but put technology in front of you and watch out. It's just terrible. So anyway, yeah, I'm not allowed to, if she's working on my computer, I'm not allowed in the room. I have to leave. So no fun, eh? Okay. Okay. Any advice on getting an autistic 3-year-old to stop hitting? No, unfortunately, the special needs autistic children are coaching only because I need to assess the situation. I need to find out what does work, what doesn't work, blah blah blah. I just have to assess the situation. I can't generalize about autism. Yeah, sorry about that. It would be irresponsible of me to do that. But by the way, ADHD is not a special needs. A lot of parents treat it like that. It's almost like an excuse for not disciplining. Those are all the kids I worked with. That's where I learned all this. It was all the kids with, I used to call them alphabet kids. ADHD, WXYZ. They all had acronyms after their name. No one ever handed me an easy kid to work with. It was always like, good luck with this one, Lisa. Like that, or teenager. Teenagers are my favorite age. Okay, I was going to read this out and I forgot. My top 5 tips for parenting teens. Thanks for reminding me. AL. Sorry. Anyway, okay, these are my top 5 tips for parenting teenagers. Number 1, listen to understand and show empathy. You don't listen to gather information to lecture with, or they will shut you out. By the way, so will an adult. You think about that. They pour their heart out to you and then you say, okay, here's what you do. I want you to do that. You don't want that. You just want someone to listen and empathize. If you want their advice, you'll ask for it, right? And anyway, so just listen, understand, show empathy. Don't gather information to lecture with. Number 2 is negotiate as much as possible with a teenager. Hey, I want your dirty clothes in the hamper from now on. What do you want from me? Reciprocity, mutual respect. Okay. By the way, especially with teenagers, you have to give way more than you get. A lot of parents say, but it's not fair. Welcome to raising teenagers. It's not fair. It's imbalanced. It's part of raising teenagers. Number 3, and you'll get wonderful moments with teenagers too, but don't expect them. Parents tend to expect too much from teenagers. And toddlers. I often say that mixed up, but really it's parents tend to expect too much. Okay, number 3, don't sweat the small stuff with teenagers. If they do something stupid and it's not a big deal, just say, well, that was stupid and laugh it off. And do you want to hear what I did when I was your age? Like, big deal. It's not, they're allowed to make mistakes just like you did, just like you do, okay? Number 4, don't leverage the good times to discuss the bad times. A lot of parents do this. I'll teach them how to connect and bond with their teenager. And then I say, do not discuss the bad behavior that they've done over the past year or two that's disappointed you. Don't do it. Every so often, one will slip through and they'll pretend they forgot. And they'll say, bull, you did not forget. You just wanted to do it. That was your revenge. And then they kind of laugh. And I say, don't do it. Because what will happen is this one parent, especially, she was laughing. She goes, I know. She couldn't help herself. She goes, I'm just so grateful that we're getting along today. What a wonderful day. Because the last 2 years with you have been hell. You can just guess what her teenager, how they reacted. Didn't go very well. So anyway, don't leverage the good times to discuss the bad times. When do you discuss the bad times with your teenager? Never. When is your payback, your revenge with your teenager? If you're old enough to live, if you live long enough, when they have their own teenagers and they complain to you and you go, that's a shame. That's your revenge. Okay, number 5 is you can be a right fighter or you can be happy. I would say this with any adult too. So with teenagers, especially, you can be a right fighter or you can be happy. If you're arguing with a teenager, you're usually right. Not always, by the way. A lot of times teenagers who've never even met me and I'm working with their parents, they'll say, can you ask that woman if she agrees with you or me? And usually, almost always I agree with the teenager. They just get what I'm doing here by the way I'm telling their parents how to deal with them. They just get it. I'm about being fair and respectful with teenagers. They just get it. No, I don't take any crap from them either. But anyway, so you can be a right fighter or you can be happy. If you're arguing and you know you're right, they usually know that you're right too. Okay. Or you may not be right. So just stop arguing. There's no point. Never going to get you anywhere. Okay. This is such a good question. And yes and no. I taught 3rd grade pretty well. Do you think some of those skills will transfer over to my own kids? I've got a really good answer for you. I'm a parenting coach. If you put me in front of a classroom, I would probably soil myself. Wouldn't have a clue how to do it. They are so different. Some stuff may transfer over, yes, but they're very different. And I know that because a huge portion of my clients are teachers, principals, and child psychologists. They are great at working with kids, but parenting is personal. It's just different. A really good example of something that a lot of parents or teachers will bring home to their own kids, which is a total disaster. It's the, what's it called? The reward chart. Works beautifully in a classroom. A classroom is business. It's not personal. And there's 30 kids on there. They don't take it personally. If you have a reward chart at home or a reward chart for good behavior, you know what you're telling your kids? You're normally rotten, but if you should happen to be good, you'll get a reward. I never reward for what I consider normal baseline behavior. I always treat kids like they're wonderful and good, and then I deal with bad behavior when it comes up. A behavior board says you're normally wonderful. If you should happen to do something bad or be bad, I'll deal with it. You see the difference? A reward chart sends the message that they're rotten. A behavior board sends the message that they're good. See the difference? Could you imagine? Would your spouse ever have a reward chart for you? You were really good today. I think I'm going to buy you a glass of wine tonight. You were good today. Could you imagine? It's so patronizing. And yet parents don't see that that's what they're doing to their kids. Think about it. Yeah. How would you feel if your spouse had a reward chart for you? It's pretty nasty, isn't it? I don't think you'd react very well to that. And it's funny because I treat kids kind of the same way that I want to be treated. Like what I mean is I want to feel heard and respected, and I want to feel like I have control over my own life. Because the behavior board, the discipline says that if you make a bad decision, I'll come in and teach you how to be self-disciplined. But the rest of the time, like it's your choice. I didn't choose to do that. You did. I used to say that to my kids. It's your choice. If your good life is good, if your bad life ain't so good, I'll make sure of that because I'm your mom and that's my job. I know my son once did something. He was running late for something or forgot something at school or at home, and I had to run it down to school. And then I said, oh, well, he said, I know there'll be a consequence tonight. And then I don't know why he would have said this even because he already knew. Like there was no contention between us like this. But he said, I know it was all my choice. When I'm good, life is good. When I'm bad, life ain't so good. You'll make sure of that because you're my mom. He just like rattled it off. Like they do have autonomy. They can choose to be good and everything's great. If they do something bad, I'm going to come in with a consequence. It's my job. Oops, sorry. Okay, I'm the leader, but my partner struggles. Wants me to step in every time our child doesn't listen. I don't know how old your child is, so I can't answer that. If it's a toddler or a 5-year-old, it makes a huge difference in what I would suggest. How would you deal with a child who talks back a lot or has an attitude all the time? I would deal with you because they don't talk back to a leader. You got to work on it's just a tell. It means they don't respect you. It means you're not a leader. So you're not respectable. Do you see what I'm saying? It's you. I don't fix kids here. I fix and teach parents. You lead, they will follow. I've worked with hundreds of kids, teenagers. They were all behaviorally challenged kids. Teenagers are my favorite, actually, my favorite age, because they were the most challenging, but they were the most rewarding too, and I got respect. But yeah, is it me? I got respect with all of them. Was that me, or did I get them all on a good day? Think about it. Their attitude is just a reflection of your parenting. Think about that. Let's say there's a coach that all the kids look up to and brings the best out, but has rules, right? But all the kids just try and please that coach. Are they ever rude to that coach? That's a leader. That makes them feel good and do good because they want to please that. It's a natural instinct. And we're all kind of like that. Even as adults, if someone makes us feel good, how do we treat that person? So your goal is to make your kids feel good. You deal with bad behavior, but behavior, I never want them to feel that behavior is who they are. Like I deal with bad behavior like it's just something they did. It's not who they are. Like, yeah, that was bad. You're not bad, but that was bad. Of course it's bad. You can say the word bad. That was bad. You hit your little brother. That was bad. Who's putting cowboy hats on me? Stop doing that. Jeez, it was not a good look. Actually, I'm older, but I haven't got a mustache yet. I'm in my 60s and I haven't got a mustache yet. Oh, I like the bow. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, you think about how you want to be treated, and that's often the way kids want to be treated. And you are treated, and I talk about discipline, but you get a lot of discipline in your life. If you don't pay your rent or your mortgage, you're kicked out of your house. That's discipline, right? If you speed down the freeway in front of a cop, you get a ticket, right? That's discipline, right? We're all disciplined out there in the world. If you butt in front of someone in a lineup, they might discipline you. You see what I mean? Who's doing all that to me? I don't know if you can all see the faces. Someone's coming at me hard with faces. Like that's like timeout. I often use that as a really good example of this. How would you feel if you made a mistake at work and your boss said, you go sit in the corner nose to wall and you think about what you did, and then I'm going to lecture you afterwards about what you did wrong. Think about it. And yet you do that to kids all the time. I would never do that. I think timeout's mean. I hate it. I think it's horrible. It's nasty. Because think about it. Would you want your boss to, how would you feel? Kids feel like, how would you feel sitting in that corner? That's how kids feel. They just can't articulate. I'm their voice. I know how they feel. They feel like crap. They're just sitting there feeling like garbage. You never want your kids to feel bad when you're disciplining them. It's okay if they get mad. There's a difference. Anger is okay, but that feeling, oh, I feel horrible. I never want that. Ever. Okay, 22-month-old is refusing day naps. Both my kids stopped regular naps at 12 months old. Why are you force feeding naps on a kid who doesn't want them? Yeah, they don't all need naps. Okay, oops, I have to get going. My Mother's Day is starting very soon with my daughter. So yeah, we got a lot planned today. She always packs out the whole day. I asked her this year if she could take it down a notch. I was sweating with all the activities she had planned for us. She likes a packed schedule, and me not so much. Anyway, I got to get going. Thanks so much for joining me. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Grandmother's Day. And we'll talk to you again. I'm going to be back again tomorrow. Check out my website, BratBusters.com. I got a big sale going on right now with the boot camp courses for Mother's Day. You can check out the free behavior board. Look into coaching. There's a big wait list, but I'll get to it eventually. And you can listen to the podcast, which is on all the platforms. It's also on YouTube if you want to watch the podcast, because we film ourselves while we're doing it. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. Happy parenting. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Grandmother's Day. Bye now.